Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today is a wet kind of a day. We've had some rain lately and the garden is just feeling wet and soggy. And you know what comes with wet and soggy gardens? Mosquitoes. So let's talk today about how I'm managing mosquito problems in my garden. It's the kind of day today where it has rained last night and this morning's air is a little bit thick, a little bit hazy. And when you look around the garden, I don't know, to me, the way the garden looks this morning is just like, oh, it is just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. I just feel like if I walk outside in the garden looking this wet, I am just going to get eaten up. However, lately I have found some ways to manage the mosquito problem in the garden that are really working. And so I wanted to share it with you today. Now, this is a method that I learned about in my master gardening training. And basically, what you do is you create a trap for mosquitoes. And you do that by giving them the environment that they absolutely love, standing water. In particular, you give them standing water with some fermenting organic matter inside of it. So here you might be able to see. Nope, the reflection's too much. Anyway, in this container, I have, looks like about 3 gallons of standing water. And you put some organic matter into the water. And I've been using, just dried up plant material that I have chopped off of my plants from last fall. You could use dried leaves, you can use hay, straw, pretty much any leafy organic waste material from plants. You put that material into the water and then you let it sit in the hot sun for a day or two. And it really starts to cook in there. It really starts to become just what the mosquitoes really love. So then, but the trick is, then you put in some mosquito dunks. Now, mosquito dunks are little donuts made out of BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, I think is how you say it. I'm not exactly sure. But it's put out by a company and they have a line of products. They have mosquito bits and mosquito dunks. There might be some other products as well. Um, but into this bucket of fermented waste material, you put a mosquito dunk in there, and that starts to dissolve into the water, and it actually becomes a trap for mosquitoes. So mosquitoes are drawn to the smell of the fermenting material. They go into this place and they lay their eggs into this bucket full of water. And the eggs do hatch and become little larvae. And so you will see mosquito larvae swimming around in there. But the BT dunk, which I think you can see right here, that's what this is, that is the death of the mosquito larvae. That dissolves into the water and puts out the BT. It's actually a bacteria found in nature. And mosquito larvae, they can't live after they encounter this BT. So while they do hatch from the eggs, you will see mosquito eggs in this mosquito trap. You'll see some larvae, but pretty soon the larvae will be dead and floating. And so you can leave this bucket here for like a month before you have to replace it with a new dunk. And at that time, you just dump it out and then you just restart the process again. And there you go. You've got a mosquito trap. Now, is it working? I think so. I'm down here in the bottom of the garden, which is usually the wettest part of our garden. It's kind of surrounded by lots of material. It's in an area where usually if you're going to have mosquitoes come out at you, this is the place that it's going to be. And I have to tell you, since I put up these mosquito dunks around my yard, I have had 0 mosquito bites. And I'm not kidding. And I'm the one that people say, stand by Jenny if you don't want to get mosquito bites, because Jenny is the mosquito magnet. Yeah, so I really think this is working. I have 2 dunks going on in the yard. One's up at the top and one down here. And this is making our patio on the lower garden actually usable because you can sit down here and not be eaten alive by mosquitoes. The other one that I have is up there by the gate. And it is actually, I'm rooting some stems in that water, and I just threw a mosquito dunk into there, and that is acting as a second mosquito trap. And so, both up on our upper side porch and down here on the lower patio. And by the way, as I'm gardening in the tiered garden beds, I have not been getting any mosquito bites. And I'm amazed by that because I normally, like I said, I normally am eaten up. The first person in the group to get eaten up is me. So the mosquito traps are really working. As far as how much ground each one trap will cover, I'm not exactly sure. I would say experiment with that. Start with one by the place where you spend most of your time. And then as you find places in your garden that you need to have protection, maybe put another one. I don't think you need to have them any closer together than probably 30 or 40 feet together. I think they'll have a radius of about 30 feet or so. So I've started just with these two traps, and they're working. So I don't think I need any more. But if I were to put a third one in the garden, I'd probably put it over here against the fence on this side garden. I'd hide it back in there, nestle it down in amongst the plants. And that way, while I'm working in the tiered gardens, I'd have protection as well. But really, honestly, the one that I have down at the bottom corner of the garden and the one that I have up here at the top near the fence, those two have been so far protecting me from any mosquitoes. We've been sitting on this patio and having our meals here when it's not raining, and no problems with mosquitoes here either. Notice that I do have standing water here. This is the bird bath. I don't have any mosquito dunks in there because I change that water every day. So I wanted to show you what this product looks like in the packaging so that you can see it. If you can find this at your general home improvement stores, maybe Walmart has them, I don't know. I got mine at Lowe's, so they're all, they should be readily available at your garden centers, in your big stores, or maybe at independent nurseries or things like that. But this is what they look like in the package. They're called Mosquito Dunks, kills mosquitoes, and it is a biological mosquito control. So there is nothing synthetic in here. This would count, I believe, I'm not sure if it's rated for organic gardening or not. But so this is what they look like in the package. And here's what it says on the back. It lasts for 30 days, so that's why every month you need to redo it. Don't eat them, obviously. Don't get them in your eyes. Float on the water and keep working for 30 days or longer under typical conditions. While floating, they slowly release a long-term biological mosquito larvicide at the water's surface. Now, this is interesting. It says you don't have to put a whole dunk into the bucket. You could cut it up into little bits and use only a quarter of it for a bucket situation. I haven't done that. I've put a whole one in the bucket, but I think as I need to replace it, I'll probably just cut one of these apart and use only bits of it. Now, of course, as you are working in your garden, you could also be applying mosquito repellent to your skin. I don't like that. I don't like the way it smells. I don't like the way it feels on my skin. And I don't like the way it lingers on my body as I get out of the garden and go inside. And then I'm still covered with pesticide mosquito repellent. So I don't care for that solution. Now, of course, I do use mosquito repellent on my skin when it makes sense to do so. But here in my home garden, so far this summer, I have not had to use mosquito repellent when I'm working outside, and I see that as a major win. So make yourself some mosquito traps, a bucket, some plant material, ferment it in the sun for a couple of days, and then put in some mosquito dunks and let it work for you. And you'll see, I hope you'll see success with this. Now, I don't know about this method in places where the mosquitoes are notorious, like up in Minnesota. I don't know if mosquito traps would work up there like they have here for me, but I think it's worth a try probably. Let's share our ideas in the comment section down below. Maybe share what works for you, especially if you live in a really high mosquito area up in the northern part of the United States, Minnesota, upper Wisconsin, up in New England and Maine and other places like that. Let us know how you manage mosquitoes in your gardens. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully, this was informative and useful to you, and let me know if you end up using this mosquito trap solution and how it works for you. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, friends. I will see you in another video real soon. Take care. Bye bye.